So imagine this. You have found the perfect pair of shoes, but now you need to find a website to purchase them from. So you find one. However, the colours clash, the font is completely unreadable, there's for some reason a load of flashing images, and the navigation is just impossible. So after about a minute of frustration, you click off that website and you find another. However, what if I told you that millions go through this on a daily occurrence with every single website? And what if it didn't have to be like that? And the answer is it doesn't. So during this talk, I want you to think about a time where you yourself have gone through that. It doesn't have to be shoes, can be anything where you've gone onto a website and you've just simply clicked off and found another. So I want to talk to you about numbers. So in the UK, we have something called the Purple Pound, which is the disability spending power. Now, the number that was last reported was £274 billion. 274. Another number is 75, which is 75% of people abandon carts when the navigation is not easy to follow or use. 1 in 5 of us are neurodivergents. Let's think about that for a minute. That means a large portion of this audience is neurodivergent, including myself. So when we think about accessibility, if it's not in our websites, in our social, you're not only just losing sales, you are losing trust. And trust is a very hard thing to gain back. Now, I want to introduce you to Maria. Maria is a university student. She's very bright, very, very capable. However, Maria is deaf. Yes, she has her student portal. She has all the extra attachments, the PDFs, the works. However, Maria cannot hear her lecturer in the lecture. So she decides to make a case. She gathers all these different resources, tools, apps, the works, and approaches her professor with it. The professor, after hearing the case, says it's too time-consuming, it's too expensive, and this is the way we have always done it. Statements I'm sure many of us have heard before. Maria doesn't stop there, however. She tries one more time. She says, this wouldn't just help me. This would help the whole class, the whole university. The answer was still the same. Many of us have gone through a similar situation. And the message that not just to Maria, but for many, is that this system was not built for you in mind. And this education of accessibility, it starts in schools. It starts in colleges, in universities. So when we graduate, we move into the workplace. Now, in the workplace, it is recorded that 1 in 4 people with disabilities do not tell their employer that they have a disability, myself included, for one very large reason, which is the fear of judgment. But we can make the workplace a happier, healthier environment for everyone. Some examples include, first off, communication, making sure that we are using clear, concise communication. We can make the environment healthier. For instance, if there's an empty room in the office where it's piled high with papers and everyone thinks it's a kitchen, but it might not be. We can transform that into a quiet room where people can focus, where people can have a really important client meeting in that quiet space. We can also introduce flexi time. Not everyone is productive in a 9-to-5 circumstance. Some people are mornings, some people are night owls, some people have responsibilities like childcare. And finally, you can have tools and apps introduced. An example of this is project management programs, where you can add the client, you can color code it, you can add all the projects, people can talk to each other, both internally and externally, in the teams. So on the basis of the workplace, I'd like to introduce you to a framework called Impact. This is an area of questions that you can tell yourself to make sure that you're keeping on track. So the first is I for inclusivity. Are we representing diversity both internally and externally? Are we measuring both creating goals as well as creating those audits? What are we doing now? Where do we want to go? Next is progress. What are the small steps that we need to take to become more accessible? Are we asking for feedback, both again, internally and externally? Accessibility itself. What barriers do we currently have in the workplace? The next is communication. Are we offering video? Are we offering text? Are we offering voice? Do we have that clear communication in the workplace right now? And next is time. What is our time frame to actually do these goals? So if you think you have not used an accessibility tool within the last 48 hours, I guarantee you are wrong. But before I go on to that, I want you all to think about filling in a form. Can be a doctor's form, could be a job application form. Right now, in your minds, think about filling in a form. Now, I want you all to close your eyes. Filling in that form just got a lot harder, didn't it? You may now all open your eyes. So relating back to what I originally said, many of us watch videos on social media and don't have any sound and use captions. So it could be that person that has finally got that baby to sleep and does not want to disturb that baby, but wants some me time. Or it could be someone commuting on the train who has forgotten their headphones for the 50th time and does not want to disturb anyone. Captions is an accessibility tool. There's also voice command. So that little gadget in the kitchen while you're sorting out your groceries in the fridge and you've asked it to do your shopping list for next week. Voice command is an accessibility tool. Dark mode on your mobiles. You guessed it, accessibility tool. And it doesn't just end with technology. It's in the outside world. Tactile paving, for instance, originally for people with wheelchairs. Now, a great source for people with prams, people with bicycles. Ramps at the supermarket, again, originally for people with wheelchairs, people with prams, people with bicycles, people who don't want to use the stairs. Accessibility. So what does the future of accessibility look like? I have some predictions. First one is AI in hiring. I think this will go into becoming less bias in recruitment. Next, I think self-driving cars will become more popular. But how amazing is that for someone that isn't normally going to drive a car, will have that accessibility to go from A to B, to have that independence back. Next is smart homes will get smarter. Now, some can change the color of the light bulbs, some can change the temperature in your house, some can even draw and open the curtains, very fancy. But I think it will get even more intelligent, to the point where it will be able to scan you and tell you if you have got a cold coming, if there is a certain mole that needs checking. It could save lives. And finally, I think text translation will become a thing. So there's a certain social media platform where every other video, you can put a little headset in your ear and you can hear someone in a different language arguing and it will translate. I think this will look more into the marketing. So imagine a bus stop with billboards. I think they will become more interactive, where it will have multiple languages to choose from, wherever you are in the world. But where do we start to become more accessible? It starts with us. It is a mind shift, a social shift. It starts in the education system, in the workplace. It's about teaching accessibility. It's about normalizing accommodations. And it's about training the leaders. It starts from the top. And that positive message trickles down into companies. What can we do with our websites and socials? Bringing it right back to our lovely shoes. We can analyze our colors to make sure they are giving the emotion you want to give. We can make the navigation easy, from awareness to purchase. We can make sure the font is readable. We can make sure that there is alt text on our imagery. And accessibility, it is a choice. However, it only takes that one step, that one shift to become accessible. And I want you to remember that accessibility is not just for a few. It's for all of us. Thank you.